Hello, and welcome back to Aiden's World of Sports, the live podcast. And on this episode, it's a special episode where we are honoring someone who is a great athlete in their sport. I have an interview coming up with him, and that'll take up most of the episode. But just to honor some of his achievements, I will talk about Robert Lindstedt. He played for 24 years, and he had a great career. He reached the top of his game, ranking number 3 in the world in men's doubles and tennis. He won a Grand Slam title. He made 3 other Grand Slam finals, and he also made a mixed doubles finals. He played for 3 years with Jorge Tecau, where he found his most success when he reached the top of his ranking. And just playing for 24 years in general is something that not many athletes do. He preserved his body and overcame challenges like none other. So now, let me do none other than to welcome Robert Lindstedt.
All right. So for this next segment, I want to introduce you guys to a friend of mine, but also a former tennis player. He just recently retired. He's from Sweden. He played for 23 years, and he goes by the name of Robert Lindstedt. You want to take a couple seconds to really introduce yourself, hit a few points?
Yeah, you're correct. I go by the name of Robert Lindstedt because that's the name I got. Technically it's 24 years. So you forgot a year. It's been a ride. Been doing this for a long time now and transitioning into coaching. So it was nice to finish in Davis Cup with the way I wanted to go out. So I've been lucky enough to do this on my own terms, and I'm happy with my situation right now.
Yeah, and so you spoke about it, and you hit a point that I wanted to talk about, how you went out playing in the Davis Cup for your country, which is one of your greatest honors, playing for Sweden or playing in front of fans in Sweden, whether it's the Swedish Open or you played in one Olympics and you played at the Davis Cup 9 times. So how do you really feel about that? What was something that was going through your mind as you stepped off that court for the final time?
Yeah, Davis Cup, there was it's been a lot of years, a lot of actual matches. It's there's so many great things that have happened, and I'm really appreciative of it all. Being in the Olympics is something that is not really being talked about, and actually for me, it's actually something I didn't think about. That's actually great that you bring it up. That was a huge thing for me. I tried for a lot of years. Sweden has very, very hard qualification standards for making the Olympics. So I actually made the international cut, but the Swedish cut was stronger. So they kind of blocked me from going. And then so I played in London. That was huge. And then being able to play so many Grand Slams that I did as well, it's been amazing.
Yeah, and you talked about playing so many matches and so many tournaments, Grand Slam specifically. And so you won a Grand Slam, 2014, Australia. I myself remember watching it probably about 5:30 in the morning. Everyone else in my apartment was asleep. But you talked about after the match, you felt empty after it. And I just want to know why would you feel empty? That's a Grand Slam title. That's one of the most prestigious titles.
No, it was. You have to bring in the history then. What am I at that? I'm at 34, 36 when I win it. So it's not normal to win it at that age. And obviously I had 3 finals in Wimbledon before that. I'd played so many Grand Slams and never really got it done, obviously. And then to finally win it, I remember it was more of the instant feeling is overwhelming joy. But then after that, when that settles, it was more of a relief, and that stuck with me for months and months and months. I remember it was at least half a season before I actually felt that I was a competitor again. It was motivation was lacking. It was very difficult. I might even go so far to say that was winning my Grand Slam was the beginning of the end of my career. Because then from that point, I never reached the same heights again. So it was winning it that late was amazing, but also then difficult to continue after that for me.
And so after winning that Grand Slam, you talked about how you struggled to find success again, but you did find it in some tournaments. You made semifinals in 2015 at the US Open, followed that up with the quarterfinals appearance. And something that I wanted to touch on was your body. You preserved your body to play 24 years in a pro sport. And what's keys that you had training and like healing injuries? What can you say that give advice to other athletes?
It's a lot of hard work. It's much harder than I would say 90% of the human population understand, and the sheer volume of what you have to do is also more than most people understand. What fans normally see, it's the finished product on court, but to get there, there's just so much work, and I never thought I could do it this long, but then when I realized that there is a possibility of still getting faster and stronger, even though if you're in your mid-30s, I grasped that with everything I had, and I hired the right people, and I hired a genius fitness guy back home, Ali Gilem, and I worked with him, and he made sure that I didn't overwork, but that I did the right things, and he got me into changing everything when it comes to diet and recovery. So I've learned a lot through the years, but in general, like, it's the amount of work you have to put in to have some sort of longevity in any professional sport is borderline insane.
John, you had a partnership that you found a lot of success with. It lasted 3 seasons on the tour, from 2010 to the end of the 2012 season. You played with Horia Takao, and you guys reached new heights. That's really where I think you could maybe say that you saw your career reaching a high point, making 3 Wimbledon finals and making the Barclays ATP Tour semifinals in 2012. How is that split? How did it affect you as a player? Just what had to change to find that success that you did to reach your height in 2014?
Well, I mean, it's tough. Having a partnership like that, it's difficult. It's the person you see the most throughout the year. You see more than your family, more than your wife. So it's tough. And then you have the winning and losing. So it's very straining at the same time. We both had ideas of going separate ways, and then I think the fact that we both were chasing that Grand Slam so much, we figured maybe it's not in the cards for us. And I mean, it's a long story with even other people involved why it happened, but we took each other to heights that we didn't have before. So we reached a level that we didn't really have. We both got into the top 10, obviously. And then from that point on, when you're up there, then all of a sudden your goals just keep getting higher and higher and higher, and you want to do better and better and better. And then when you're not reaching the ultimate success, you want to, okay, can we do this, or do I upgrade, or what do I do? And luckily we both ended up winning a Grand Slam. He won 2, actually. I won 1.
Yeah, I mean, he did win 2. He also just retired.
Yeah.
Both great careers. You both made it up to that, as much as you're saying, the top of your game, and you didn't reach that ultimate success because, I mean, the 2 greatest players to play your sport, to play that section of the sport, I think the Bryan brothers. I mean, there's a lot to be said.
They are not to be mentioned.
No, that's an illegal name when I'm talking to you.
Mufasa times 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's amazing. You did it all in your career. You really did. And so just to have you here, to have you on, for people to see this is going to mean a lot to me. I know to you, we don't really talk about this as much as we should, but thank you for coming on. It really means a lot to me to talk about this with you on a separate platform, not just behind the scenes.
That's all good, Aiden. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
And that'll be all. And thank you very much for Robert for coming on. Just want to congratulate you on an amazing playing career, and thank you once again for coming on to the podcast. I know this means a lot for me to have people see this and to put this out, because I've looked up to you for years, watching you play and just being a fan and a friend. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys the next time with another Aiden's World of Sport.